So, welcome to F1 Manager 2024 and welcome to the Creator Team season customization that I've created. I went off and created a fantasy scenario for the start of the 2024 season, so we're a season or so out of date, but that's how things are operating currently without implementing some pretty heavy duty mods into the game. But yeah, this is a new scenario that I created, spent some time thinking this up, and here's what I came up with. Essentially, the F1 world has been completely reset as of the start of the 2024 season. Maybe Mohammed bin Salem has been ousted as FIA president, and someone like Ross Brawn has been brought in to oversee the regulations and the sporting side of things, and him and Liberty Media have cooked up this groundbreaking new version of Formula One. Essentially, every single driver and key team staff member is a free agent. And that means everyone's up for grabs. Engineers, head of aero, technical chiefs, etc. And of course, the drivers. All affiliates have been released, so they are now free agents as well. Now, the game itself doesn't actually allow a good simulation of how teams would pick certain drivers up. It seemed a bit random when I was doing it, so I went off and created a formula for each team, which would essentially have some high level priorities for their driver lineup. That's the most important thing. Some would prefer youth over experience. Some wouldn't care about aging drivers. They just want raw performance. Others would have a balance. Some might have some national bias in there. So we've got the 2024 teams that you'd expect, and also a brand new team called MSG, which is who I'm going to take over, who are kind of based on the Formula E team, Maserati MSG. We do not have the title sponsor of Maserati in this because we want this to be a pure Monaco-based team with no Italian influence from Maserati. But that's the setup. So everyone was put on a free agency. I used some formulas to create priorities for each team. I ran the formulas, simulated a sort of bidding process, i.e. those that spat out the higher number of each of the teams in each sort of drafting round would get the driver. All performance of cars has also been reset, so they're all at level 1 within the game, so that'll be interesting. Finances and facilities remain unchanged though, and we can get into that a little bit more, I guess, as time goes on. But let's have a look at the driver lineups, because it's very different to what you'd see for the 2024 grid. As you can see, Red Bull have got Liam Lawson and Yuki Tsunoda, so they in fact went after Max Verstappen in the first round and did not get him. They were unsuccessful in keeping Max Verstappen, and as soon as that happened, they pivoted away and went back to their junior driver program. Now, we know what's happened with Liam Lawson in real life. It's not worked out great, and they also bagged Yuki. He was actually rated higher, so that's not a bad driver lineup. And the staff, I won't go through the staff because I won't pretend like I know every single version of these people in the game. But as you can see, they've still got their 14 odd million. They've got their facility set to default, so they haven't lost that. But due to radical FIA technical changes and regulation changes, everyone's pretty much on an even keel for car performance. So the drivers really are going to matter in the early stage. It's going to be interesting to see how teams develop as time goes on. Now, Mercedes here, I would say, and this is not to be offensive, that's not a overly strong driver lineup. Sergio Perez, widely respected, but he's coming off of, in real life, a pretty poor 2024 season where he lost his seat. So as time went on, he didn't perform well, but he's rated 86 in this game. Mercedes went after Verstappen, as did pretty much all the teams other than a handful in the first round. They went after about 3 other drivers and could not get them. So they got like Perez in the 3rd or 4th round of drafting, which wasn't great for them. And then Kevin Magnussen's going to be backing him up. So they've got some work to do there. If you're wondering why they haven't got a head of aero, that is because the game actually doesn't give you 11 heads of aeros that you can select for each of the teams in a custom season, which is a bit annoying. So what I had to do was dig into the F1 database editor, and I unretired Aaron Melvin, and he was part of the drafting pool as well. So they drafted and went after Aaron Melvin. So he's been unretired using the database editor. And yeah, I'm not sure what Toto Wolff would say here. Maybe he would be blunt and say it's not the ideal driver line, but they have got a lot of experience there, if nothing else. Ferrari, wow. They are the ones that landed Max Verstappen. I mean, what a pairing that is. Ferrari and Max Verstappen in F1. That is going to be insane. Surely puts them as one of the favourites. Backed up by his old Red Bull partner, Daniel Ricciardo. So it'd be interesting to see how long he hangs around for. They've also got GP. So they've paired Max with GP. There was a formula in place that whatever driver you got, the teams might lean towards trying to get the engineer that's got a good affinity with them. That's all data available within the game. So they managed to grab that. That's a fantastic pair in there. And a little wry smile, I'd say, from the Ferrari garage, as they said, was it intentional to get Daniel Ricciardo, an old Red Bull pairing? And I think they wink and say there are no coincidences in F1. So that's what they've gone after. Be interested to see how that lines up. McLaren, now, they lost George Russell. They went after Max Verstappen as well, as did pretty much all the teams I mentioned earlier. But they've gone for George Russell as their team lead. Interesting. Bit of a British slant there for McLaren. And Pierre Gasly. I think this is a really good lineup. Like, pound for pound, yes, we haven't got the raw speed of a Verstappen, but we've got Russell, who's very solid, and then Gasly, who I have had experience in the previous games, is doing pretty well in a good car. So it will be interesting to see how George Russell and Pierre Gasly pair together. Aston Martin, they've gone for Drogovic, some brilliant youth in there, and Lewis Hamilton, who's got the number 2 car, but that's because he likes the old yellow T-cam colour. As you can see, they are missing a technical chief. So in this instance, they were grabbing hold of Simon Resta, who again I had to get out of the F1 database editor and I'm retiring a sign there. So in the load up of the game, that'll be there. But yeah, Lewis Hamilton, de facto team leader there, coupled with a very high potential young driver in Felipe Drogovic. So interesting to see how this team pans out. They've got a lot of starting balance. They can start developing on the offset. Their facilities, I know in real life, have been built out, and they've invested a lot into building that out. So it will be interesting to see how that pans out as well, and if they become a force to be reckoned with. Alpine, so nice team here for Alpine. They've retained Ocon in their driving lineup, so they wanted a bit of French representation, I'd imagine there. But they've also got Carlos Sainz in, who's highly respected, obviously at Williams in real life, but here Alpine have offered him a works contract and been able to tempt him over. And a lot of cash being flowed into Alpine, and their facilities aren't half bad either. So they could be a contender with that driver lineup. I talked about McLaren having perhaps pound for pound the best driver lineup. Alpine do run it close, in my view. It depends how Sainz performs, really, but a nice little lineup for them. Williams. So this is interesting. Williams were one of the few teams who went straight after Lando Norris. There was a tiny bit of British bias in there, so if a British driver with high ratings came up, probably more preferable. But the one thing they factored in was youth. They were really interested in getting younger drivers in to keep hold of and try and develop. And Lando's, not only is he highly rated, he's British, and also he's quite young within the parameters. So he was their number 1 pick. He was one of the few teams there that grabbed their non-Max Verstappen first pick. So that's interesting. Lance Stroll walks away from his own father's team. Now, in canon, are there rumours that he was getting fed up with being stuck in his father's shadow, being given the Nepo baby treatment? But there we go. That's the Williams lineup. Lando Norris, de facto leader of the team. Again, he's got the old yellow T-cam treatment that I tried to mimic where possible, where it made sense. So he said, I want number 2. So Racing Bulls, or as they're called in this game, RB, just RB, they were really interested in youth. That was their big kind of driver lineup they went for, and that's why Oscar Piastri has ended up at number 1. So that is a 22-year-old sitting on an 84 rating. Obviously, we know in real life how that's panning out pretty well at the moment. And then they've got Iwasa as well. So, a very young lineup of 2 drivers sub 25, and they are going for it. They are completely independent. There's no Red Bull nonsense, despite the logo with the Racing Bull nonsense. They will be operating independently. They did cheekily try and get Max Verstappen, but couldn't tempt him over. Sauber, not a bad little lineup there. Alex Albon and Alonso. So they were after performance at all costs, not too worried about age, valued the experience, and obviously paired that with an Alex Albon who's doing very well in real life. And it'll be interesting to see if they can come off the back of the grid with someone like Alonso leading the team. Haas, I mean, even in a fantasy setting, Haas are just being Haas. You know, ending up with Bottas, ending up with Hulkenberg, like a chance to really make a statement with a huge driver, like a big superstar, and they end up with Hulkenberg and Bottas. It really is a just typical Haas. They have got Peter Bonington though. They've got Wheatley, so he could be a contender when it comes to the old pit stops and things like that. Don't underestimate this snake and what he can produce. But really, I think the headline is that team there is going to be formidable, isn't it? Anything with Max, anything in this game or in real life with Max there is going to be tricky. Forget about car performance. That'll all start to even it out, and facilities and whatnot will probably make a difference. That is a huge get. So that's what we've ended up with. That's the team lineup. So this is the team I'm taking control of, MSG. Would have preferred not to create a custom team, but the game forced you to. Monaco-based team, Charles Leclerc and Zhou Guanyu came out. So on their formula, it was imperative to go after a Monaco-based driver, and obviously Charlie's the high-rated and the only one I think in the game that has that. So he was their number one pick. Can't say I'm over the moon. Ended up with Zhou Guanyu, if I'm honest, but we'll see. We'll see how things go, and he's clearly going to be around the back. So Leclerc and Charlie at MSG. The new team on the grid. Season objectives pretty achievable, I think. 9th and above. Points contender in the long term. I think with Charlie Boy there, we should be in the points with him, because especially in the early stages, our car will be on par or similar or slightly worse, but he should be able to make up the difference there. We've only got a starting balance of 2 million though, so that's really going to hamper us in the early stages. But this is a brand new team. I didn't want to give them a shitload of money and have them just come in and dominate. But that's our team, and we'll be looking to retain Charlie's services as long as he's performing. And, you know, Zhou Guanyu, I'm sorry, but one day you're going to have to go. We can see our staff. You've got James Allison, so he's obviously a long-time vet. Big Peter. Jeremy from F2 gets an upgrade. So, yeah, maybe we could look at changing this. He's only got 10 months on that contract, so that's something to look at in the summer when the contracts start coming up. So that's our MSG team. That was the custom team that I had to create. So race calendar, I only changed the sprints, removed every single one of them. I actually was going to play with a sprint on every single circuit. I was thinking of doing that, and when I ran like a quick simulation just to check that everything worked and that there's no problems with the AI or things to worry about, it really was monotonous doing the sprint race. Get one practice sprint quali. It just became a bit too much. I prefer having just the 3 practice sessions and quali in the race. So purists will love this. I was going to actually change the calendar completely. I had a different version of this where it would essentially visit a continent or an area of the world, do all the races there, and then move on. I know they try and do that, but as you can see, at least in 2024, they weren't doing a great job of it. And even this year, there's a few weird bits of travel going on. But then I realised the game doesn't factor in the time of year and the climate for that area. So originally, Silverstone was like down here in October as like a close towards being the sort of season ending, and on the European leg, and it was 30-degree fucking heat. And I know there's the world's heating up, but it ain't 30 degrees in November, so I had to scrap that idea. Get the sprints out of it. Rules and regulations. So really, there's a few things I changed here. Some controversial. I did remove the fastest lap bonus, which I actually like in real life, and I know they've got rid of it for the 2025 season. But given this was a reset, I wanted all these sort of toggles, all these modifiers to kind of be off. These are rules that can change throughout the save. We'll often get asked to vote on certain aspects of it, so it felt like it'd be nice if these naturally came in. I don't want double points for the last race, but you can't control what the AI are going to do. Point scheme I kept the same. You know, obviously you can change it to I think that's from 2008, they changed it to the 10 and the top 8. Or you can you go old school? Oh, no, you can't. No, you can. So the old school of top 6, which was what I grew up on. But I've left it, again, scheme 1, just to keep things a little bit vanilla. And these may change over time. I've increased all of the limits on engines, ERS, gearbox, because I can see that being something the teams would be not happy with. You've just changed the regulations months before the start of the season, and you've made every driver an affiliate and key staff member a free agent. We need to have a bit of leeway when it comes to our components. So that's up to 6. In the cost cap, I've given that the highest possible amount. So 175 again. That felt like a compromise that the teams might request and might want to make. And the season prize share scale, I mean, there's only 2 there to choose from. It's minor percentages, left it vanilla as it is. So aerodynamic testing, I did originally, if you look on the right hand side here, I did originally have this set to equal, so everyone would get the same amount, but that would, I don't know, one thing, the game's kind of set up for it to be this way, in that lower down the grid the more time you get. And they send emails, even if you change it to like even, you'll get emails from staff saying we've got more, CFD because we finished low. It's like, no, that's not true. It's not how the game. So that annoyed me slightly. And I just thought it might give because a lot of the teams at the lower end don't have a lot of starting balance. It might just bring the pack closer together very slightly. It may give some teams, midway, a bit further down, a bit more of an advantage. Those that are rich, that didn't have a great 2023 in this sort of area, might get off to a good start. But I just thought, again, leave it the same. That's been in place for a while. We're not going to go completely crazy. Yes, we could have it even, but I think the rich teams would have too much of an advantage there. Look, they haven't even tried to give us an extra bit of CFD or winter. We actually get the same. So the 10 and 11 get the same amount. We can tell this bloody 11th team custom team thing was a bit of an afterthought, because that should be tweaked up slightly in my view, because none of the others share, do they? No. Sloppy from Frontier. Maybe that's why we won't get a 2025 version, which I'm very sad about. So we've got 6 days to our sponsor negotiation. That will give us some cash to do some bits and pieces. But given that our facilities are starting on 0 as well, I should have mentioned that. MSG have 0 facilities in terms of their star rating, and they're actually missing some as well. I know we've only got 2 million. We do need to be careful with money, I think. But for me, we could start developing the car, but how much could we do? Probably not a lot. I think we need to just try and fill in. Look, we haven't got a suspension simulator. We haven't got a car part test. This is all going to add to our ability to build new parts and make the car faster. We haven't got a team hub. We haven't got a race sim. We haven't got any of the operational stuff. So to me, it's get these bits off the ground first with the limited cash we've got. We're not going to do many of them because we've got 2 mil. Christian Zimmerman. Hi, Gunther. If you're wondering, my name's not Gunther, but I don't like to play games as myself. So I in this fantasy setting, we're taking the role of Gunther Steiner, who returns to F1 to take over MSG as part of the job. Welcome to MSG. It's very exciting to have you on board, and we're looking forward to taking on the season under your leadership. Yours sincerely, Krista Zimmerman. So that's a nice little welcome from the team there. As I said, let's build something here. I mean, this is 6 mil for that, so we can't afford to do that. We can't afford to do that's 4.5 mil. Team hubs 800. Sims 1 mil. That's half of what we've got. Boardrooms 400k. 1 mil for the hospitality. Weather centres 1. Good lord. Could build that. Helipad. Tour centre is 250. Memorabilia. Okay, it's 440. So this brings in some income, which I think is important to have. So we'll probably prioritise that. And then what else can we do in the short term? Sponsor payout might be worth doing that. Trying to get that in at least for our next round of sponsor negotiations. We're trying to just maximise cash in this early stage because we are so cash strapped. Mentality, that'll be important. We can build the rest of these, I think, after we've got our initial sponsor money. So let's do the tour centre. It's cheap. It'll take 10 days. What does MSG stand for? I actually don't know, because if you look on the Formula E team, I don't think they have it broken down. To be honest, I went to the touring cars yesterday and went to the Napa team's little trailer thing they had and got this hat. So if I do another one of these, I might just make a Napa team. They've got lovely blue and yellow livery as well, so I could create a nice looking car. But we're going to build this tour centre, get some cash. It's not a lot at the start, gives us a bit of markability, but we just start the process of at least trying to build some capital in this very poor team. Look, that's already hurt me just having to do that. Sponsor payout +1. I think that's the only other one that gives us any sort of, percentage payout. So we'll go with that as well. It's 240. Okay, we can get a few of these done. That's 5 days. That'll be done before the sponsors start as well. So we'll get a little tiny boost there. I think I'm going to go Team Hub, because you get a bit more of it. Monaco Sports Group. That makes sense, doesn't it? MSG, Monaco Sports Group. Don't need a load of scouts. Got 2, which isn't a lot, but we'll look at building an affiliate kind of pipeline in a few races, I think. Should we get on good terms with the board early doors? Let's do that one. Get the boardroom set up so they're happy. 310 grand. I think we're done now. Yeah, okay, that's not too bad. We've got a few things in the pipeline and off to the races. Drivers. Here's our drivers. So we've got 2 years. We've only got 2 years with Charlie. Not that I need to develop a contract just yet, but that's worth keeping in mind for next season, or even later on this season, because people can buy them out of their contracts. So we could be left without Charlie at some point. We've got 3 years there, 2 years there. We've got Marcus Dudley, which I think is a nice get, and I think Alex Chambers from Sauber. So he's not the highest rated overall, but he is quite young at 33, and you've got no affiliates just yet. What have we got on the other staff? Allison's here for 2 years, and that's, I think we should scout a new sporting director, if nothing else, because I don't like the fact that Jeremy hasn't got a picture, not even an AI generator, just nothing, just a shadow sporting director. Let's have a look at scouting, because I think this is something we need to look at. Sporting director can wait, but we want to build out a decent affiliate pipeline. And if we're going to keep Zhou Guanyu for 2 seasons, which we may or may not, then perhaps we should look at getting someone on a couple of years and then maybe promote them middle of the next season, start of the 3rd season if we're thinking long term. So let's have a look who we've got here. Age group, set that to the youngest. Do we have any average ratings of 81? Because it's a bit too high. Let's go next knock down and then sort them by their overall rating. So you've got Theo Porcher, he's open to negotiation. We're not going to sign anyone this season in an affiliate capacity, because one thing I noticed is the AI, where they've lost all their affiliates that they had by default in the game, they don't start signing people. Well, I don't know what they're doing in the background, but they don't sign people this season in the here and now. It's always for next season. So I think I'm going to follow that same kind of plays, try and keep things on the up and up. So we've got Ollie Behrman, who's a target for me for sure. Probably lives in Monaco now, like most of these drivers do. So there's a little bit of synergy there. He's the highest rated. Well, he's not the highest rated because that's Theo, but the highest rated teenager. Not saying that he's Big Theo's, underrated or overrated, but at 20, is he over the hill? I don't know. So he's going to be one of our scouting choices, and then Kimmy's the other one. Let's do Ollie, because we like Ollie in real life. God, he looks like a right old baby there. He's a baby in real life. And then Kimmy. So I'd say Kimmy looks older there than he does in real life. They've sort of aged him, and they've kind of left it. He's got a little bit of imperfections there. Could have cleaned that up for him, couldn't they? Around his chin. If I was Kimmy and I saw this, I'd be like, look, can you update my picture and clean me up a little bit? Airbrush me, do what you need to do. But really what I'm interested in will be, I don't know if it shows it in this bit until you've scouted them, but is the development rate. Whoever's got the highest development rate out of these drivers that I end up selecting over the next month or so, that's who I'm going to get in the affiliate program. 6 days to find out what Mr. Antonelli's all about. Yeah, puberty acne for Antonelli. Obviously, we've got real world knowledge of where some of these drivers, Colapinto's another, ended up. So it'd be interesting to see if the game has factored that in. Hajar's another one. Doohan, well, let's see the youngest drivers. I mean, Kimi's the youngest driver. I mean, I'd have to also get Nicola looked at. I know the rating's not high, but that might be one way to do it as well, is to get the youngest pups that appear and just get them in. I think you can have up to 10 affiliates. I don't want 10 affiliates, if I'm honest. I want a plan to replace Zhou Guan Yu. Maybe a backup plan, actually. Maybe I should look at actual, high rated drivers. A replacement for Charlie in case he gets nabbed. Should have an idea of where we're going next, really. So maybe that's something to think about as time goes on. It's going to be someone like Norris, I think, just because maybe we could get him. He's young enough, isn't he? Hamilton, I imagine Hamilton and Alonso will start fading. Their stats will, because they're of age. Development rate's average, so he's not going down, but he's not going to get loads better, is Charlie. So Zhou Guan Yu is also average, I should say. He's got low affinity with his engineer, which a lot of these teams will have to deal with, but we'll work on that. Yeah, marketability. So he's 70. Yeah? Is he more marketable than Charlie? No. I say Charlie's such a sweet-looking lad that it should be in the 90s, I think. He's very expensive, though, isn't he? Like, considering how poor we are, he might even cripple us. That wouldn't be the worst thing. I know the whole team has been... The philosophy's built around Charlie being the main man, because he's from Monaco, but that's a lot of money to be paying him. It might not be the worst thing in the world. And I'm just thinking with Gunther Steiner's hat on here, more than anything. The team was already set up before Steiner came in, so he's just picked up the pieces here. But I think in the back of his head, he's thinking, Jesus Christ, lad, that's a lot. I want to try and stick to the contracts I make. I want to stick to inheriting other people's contracts. I don't know. So it will be interesting is to look at the other drivers and see their contracts. Verstappen's there for 3 years. That's going to be hard. 45 million if you want to buy him out. So that's a lot of money needed there. 2 years for Alonso. 2 years for Hamilton. Charlie's there for 2 years, as we know. Norris for 2 years. So in 2 years' time, it's going to get very messy. Sainz for 2 years. Russell for 3 years. Perez for 3 years. What were you thinking, Mercedes? Bottas 2 years. Piastri 10 months. Wow. I like that. I see that as Oscar, in the context of the save. RB go to Oscar and go, look, we want you to be the lead of our team. And he's like, I don't trust you guys, but I'll take the lead of the team for 10 months and we'll see where the chips lie. I think that's Oscar doing another Alpine and planning an exit route if he doesn't think things are going to work out, which is very on brand. Gasly 3 years at McLaren, so they've got themselves locked down. Ocon's only got 10 months, so despite the affinity that Alpine might have for their French driver, he could be out next year. Hulkenberg 10 months, yes, that's fair enough. Tsunoda 3 years, that's a bit of a medium to long-term commitment. Albon 3 years. Here's the big one, Stroll. How much trust did Williams have in Lance Stroll? 10 months. So there you go. There is some realism in this scenario then. The immersion is back on. They've only offered him this season. Was it out of desperation? Because actually the way the draft worked out was that obviously a lot of drivers disappear and they can only go for one driver per round. So if they went for, let's say they went for Tsunoda in round 6 and they didn't get him because RB got them, other drivers that may have been on their shortlist, like an Albon, like an Ocon, like a Gasly, like a Hulkenberg even, were likely snapped up by other teams. So they were left with, the second drivers were left with a little bit of a lower end type of a drive to get through. Poor old Danny, he's there for 10 months. So Ferrari, I think Ferrari just done that for the lols, if I'm honest. Let's get a former Red Bull lineup in just to troll Red Bull But we don't want to commit to it long term. We'll keep Max happy in his first year, like give him a teammate we know that isn't really going to threaten him, but they get on well. And then we'll look next year to really strike with a second driver. K-Mag 3 years. What have Mercedes done there? They've put Perez and Magnussen on 3 years. Unbelievable. And then Liam Lawson 10 months. Wow. On brand for Red Bull. If we look at Tsunoda, obviously has a lot more trust in real life these days. Got his 3-year contract. Lawson, they're like, yeah, we still don't trust you, mate. We simply don't trust you. So that is very interesting. Oh my God, am I the only bloody team that hasn't got a 81 average driver? Oh, no, of course. We've got Iwasa in there for RB as well. He's got 3 years. And Felipe's for 3 years, a long-term investment. And then we have got Zhou Guanyu, who's higher rated out of those two. So 2 years left for him. So for interesting contracts, I always like to look at that. And I didn't influence those. They were all done by whatever the AI decided when you drop them in the teams. And they're different each time because I ran a few dry runs and whatnot. And yeah, they were the same. Do we need to do anything with car development? I think there is a bit of variance. I put them all on one knock, obviously on 1 star rating. And we're not last. Oh no, we are last, 21st and 22nd. As I say, we weren't last in some of these areas. So there is a way, I think, of seeing the actual. So let's compare us to Ferrari. Yeah. So there is some I like that. It's not exactly, because I was worried that everyone would be exactly the same. Clearly, some of the teams have got a bit more of a small boost, but we're all within the same ballpark at least. So that's good. Design-wise, I ran through each of the different tracks because here you can see what the important attributes are for each track. And I went through to check which of the car performance attributes had a green tick on the right-hand side here or a double blue tick, which means crucial and recommended, and kind of just scored them, like a couple of points for that, 1 point, a couple of points for the 2 blue ticks, 1 point for the green tick, and made like a table. And what it turned out to be is that the most important thing generally across all the different racetracks was medium speed, got a score of 23. High speed was next, then low speed, then DRS, then top speed, then acceleration. So that's the order in which I would prioritise. In F1 Manager 2022, I went for the underfloor to start with. And we've got our... How much is this going to cost, actually? We've got 300... I don't think I'm going to have to afford to do this now. Let's have a look. Before we waste time with car development, let's just see if we can even do what we were planning to do. Yep, we don't have any money, so we can't do that until we get our cash. So all car development is parked until we get our sponsorship money. We do not have enough money. Season budget is 50 million. The board will assign you a budget for the season based on their season targets. Some of this budget will be paid at the start of the season. The rest will be paid monthly. So I think I can spend all this. I haven't got to stay within this, I don't think. I can spend all this. We'll get sponsorship money as well. And as long as we're not minus at the end of the year, I think that's what they care about. But we'll see. Little 1-star team. Little 2-bob team. Bloody hell. Let's move on. We'll construct things, then we'll get to our sponsorship package and see who we can wrangle to give us some cash to keep this outfit running. We have our helipad. So this will give us a little bit of extra payouts from our sponsors, which will always be appreciated. Oh, I should also say for the car, I don't know where it says it necessarily. We are with Renault. That's our powertrain. So Renault, a little bit of it. I know they're not. I know Monaco isn't France, but it's nearby. It's on the bloody border. So I felt like that was a bit of synergy. No one else has Renault either as their engine manufacturer. So I didn't want to add another Ferrari, another Mercedes, or certainly didn't want to get into bed with Red Bull. So we've got a Renault engine in this MSG F1 car. Here we go. Let's have a look at Kimi. Please see the attached report with some information that you might have found helpful. If you're considering negotiating a contract with them, if you'd like to make them an offer at this point, you can do. You can view this via their profile in the database. Those scouts are now available for a new assignment. Let's do the scouting on the next lads first, because I'll forget to do that. Let's take a look at Oscar, because I think him being out of contract in 10 months could be almost too good to pass up. If we can, there's no guarantee we'll get the guy. Because he's cheap. He's cheapish. They've got 3 mil. 22 years old. You'd think his potential would be pretty high. So let's have a little look at Oscar. He's open to negotiation. Bulgaria, 62. I mean, that is low, but this is a guy that I'd want in the affiliate program in the background, and we'll see how he gets on. Scout for 6 days done. We've still got 310,000. Let's have a look at some of our scouted talents then. So let's have a look at Ollie first. We went with him first. So not very marketable, which is no biggie. Very high development rate, so that makes him potentially useful. His pace is up in the 80s, which is one of the more important aspects for just raw speed. Yes, this stuff is important, but you can kind of outmatch the rest of it if you get these. If these are up in the sky. That's Ollie boy. So he was very high potential rating. Let's have a look at Gimme. Whoa! Max. And that is. Kimmy's much more marketable than Ollie. They have given him the acne photo, like we said, the puberty acne, so that's maybe what's doing it. I mean, he's not as quick as Ollie, but he's not as highly rated. But that Max is something I'd love to get involved with early on. It seems stupid not to get him. I don't know in what capacity though. Like, he's not going to go anywhere just yet. I don't think any of the AI will be ready to pounce until the summer. Sponsorship negotiation. This is an awful package, isn't it? 2 million up front, or then all on engagement. Yeah. And look, it says here it's low performance reliance as well, which suggests to me that these race targets won't be out of the question. Let's go with these guys then. Choose up to 5 optional sponsors to fund your teams. Let's have a look at these. So we could get 78 million if all this goes well. I don't think it will. We have unbelievably ended up with a higher race day amount, but I think we're happy with that. 25 mil in the bank today. Another 26 guaranteed, I would say, an engagement, because I'll go out of my way to make sure we hit those commitments, and then the race day stuff is just going to be, gravy on top. All right, let's commit to it. There's a high performance reliance, which I wasn't planning to do, but we need the cash, so we're going to take a little bit of a gamble. Oh god, look at these sponsors. I could sit here and go through all this, but I'm not going to. Oh god, their race suits look awful. There's none on the back, fair enough. I mean, you got to do what you got to do in motor race, don't you? Because you won't last very long. The car doesn't look too bad, I don't think. Oh, I might change this one, actually, because it's just slightly off, isn't it? That will annoy my brain. It's not on that side. What's going on there? Oh, you can... Interesting. Here we go. Can I make it smaller? That's nicer. It's a bit smaller, but I think that looks nicer at 50%. They're on the back somewhere. They're happy with that. They're happy with that. That's just a little bit of gravy, that side one. Oh, the web. That's going to annoy me, that web one. That. Oh, God. I promised I wasn't going to do this, but as you can tell, when I spot things that annoy me, I have to just have a quick... Here we go. I think that looks nice with the silhouette, don't you? Sort of fits our... That stands out more for them. I don't know why they wouldn't want that. Can I see the other side? Obviously not. Down to 70. There we go. That's cleaned it up a little bit, isn't it? I know they're not perfect, but that'll do for now. They've bastardised the car, so not a lot we can do about that. Sponsorship plan. Oh, here's our engagement. So we have to hit that minimum, I think is how it works, every 6 weeks. If we hit that, then we get our cash basically, like 3.2 million. So your sponsorship plan exceeds your sponsor's engagement target. As a result, the next sponsor plan, will be lower. Interesting. So you can front load it if you want to do more and have it go a bit lower. Agreeing too many activities will diminish returns and engagement. It's just not... I'm not interested in trying to min-max that. Right, let's get our fucking mandatory activities. Your driver will appear in an energy drink advert. It doesn't match their brand, reducing their marketability while the ad runs. Anyway, we're going to get some cash. 3.6 million, it looks like. Thank you very much. Right, we have 25 million in the bank. We can do some stuff. Let's build up our facilities again, get everything up and running. So we want to have a suspension simulator. Fuck me, 6 million. We've got to do it. Car part test center, 19 days. That's 4 million. God, look, we're already... Bloody hell. The suspension simulator taking 34 days is a bit of a knock, because that means our parts in the early phase aren't going to be able to benefit from these. We've got that on the bill. Let's get the race sim in. I think it's daft not to have that. Helipads built. Tour centre is still under construction. Have we got enough for all this? Oh yeah, we've got plenty. Well, not plenty, but enough to do this. Weather centre. Let's just get everything built at a base level, shall we? Memorabilia room. And at least we've got a full running base coming up. Do we need to build the helipad up? Sponsor payout targets. What's that? 320. It takes 7 days. Monthly upkeep's the same. There's honestly no benefit. There's no reason not to just do that. Chuck free. So we've got 10 million. We've got 11 million now to do some stuff. Do some car development finally. So we've got 6 engineers available. I feel like having 2 projects at a time, 3 engineers each is the way to go. We can only design stuff. Let's go have an underfloor to start with. Let's do half our time in each. I've gone too far, I have. Is it 3 point? No, can't get it exact, so we'll just do that. Design focus. Now, this is something that's interesting. This is from reading people that are in the know of the game and look at how the AI operate. The AI only have access to these set sliders. So you can really min-max and change things in here and do like custom, and really like do some damage on the AI. I'm just going to use the presets. That's what I'm getting towards, just to keep it a little bit, not fair, but I just don't like the idea of, I don't want to sit in here fucking about with all these sliders all day. And 2, I like the idea of just picking, engineers are saying we can do this, we can do that. And that's what we'll go for. So, where are we now? High speed performance, surprisingly. We lose a bit of extra weight, which is the same on every single one. We lose a little bit of low speed, but we're already in the shit anyway on that side of things. We're 21st, so this feels like a good place to start. Get a couple of positions on the high speed. Go with it. Engineers. We're going to do 3. How much will this cost? It's going to cost just $1 million. If we do a rushed one, it'll be 1.5. Intense will be 3 million. I think we're not in a position to do that. 28 days, so we're looking at a month from now before we get this, and that race will be 27 days, so it'll be ready for Suzuka. That's a target for our first sort of upgrade package. We should be able to buy all our bits, manufacture all our bits that we need. But yeah, we're not going to be rushing. We're not going to be going intense because the expense on that is just too much. $1 million being spent on an underfloor. How's your luck? Let's do our rear wing. Use all the rest of our time because we only have 9 days left, so there's no point holding back. We're going to do 2 big bits per kind of segment. Maybe we'll try and stick to that. Looks like we're going to go balance for this one. Yeah, let's go balance. We're going to jump up with DRS effectiveness. Got 3 of our engineers. Again, we're not going to spend loads of money. 37 days for this one, so that'll be... I'll be cutting it tight, won't it? But there's not much we can do about that. I didn't realise it would take as long. Interesting. Interesting little bit of management there. So maybe car 1 we'll be able to get some bits on, but... yeah, Suzuka might be a bit of a stretch, if not China. Alright, well, it is what it is. What if we did a rushed version of it? 25 days. It's just not worth it. Well, that would be worth it, but not for an extra meal, basically. Look, we're being prudent. We've got 10 million in the bank. We don't want to go overboard. We need to sign new drivers. If ever we've got to re-sign Charlie, we're going to be in trouble because we haven't got enough in the fucking bank. So we've got to think about this sort of stuff as and when it comes. And that's why actually getting rid of Zhou Guanyu probably isn't a sensible thing to do. It's what, 4 million? But that's a significant amount of our fucking capital. Anyway, rear wing. I don't think we've got any engineers available, so we're kind of done on that side of things. Let's go to the mentality hub. So mostly enthusiastic. No one's demoralised. Yeah, the team members' biggest issue are facilities because we don't have a lot of them, but they should. That should turn around, shouldn't it? Oh, we're straight in. We're going to get to this first race. Our lovely tour centre is complete. Our lovely boardroom is complete. So that should give us a bit of a rating confidence. Tour centre. That's 50 grand in the bank. What does this is a must, isn't it? Just to get the cash in. It's small amounts. It's small potatoes, really. I know there's a better way of doing it in that you wait for your facilities to sort of deteriorate, then you upgrade them because the condition goes up. But we're looking at short-term cash here. That'll pay for itself in a few weeks. So we're just going to keep chipping away at that tour centre. Get that up to scratch. Where could Zhou Guanyu work on? I mean, really, it's outright pace, isn't it, that he needs some work on? You know what? I might switch him to car development because he's not going to be at the front of the grid. The driver will focus on accelerating car park design and research projects, so he might just help us develop parts. He can continue his training here, but honestly, the driver will focus on developing the markability to increase the life. Yeah, I don't need to worry about that. Let's do it. Zhou Guanyu is on car development duty. What are our race targets? Fuck me. I mean, look, this is ridiculous, isn't it? Let's just play it cool. I'm not gonna stress out about these bloody targets because the amount of money that you're getting, yes, it's half significant. It's not. That ain't worth it as far as I'm concerned. Let's see how this first weekend goes.
Ladies and gentlemen, and the grid is set to grow. A new season is upon us as Formula One returns to the Middle East, ready to kick things off here in Bahrain. But change is afoot. The paddock has grown, the grid extended. Yes, that's right. 11 teams, 22 drivers, and the hottest competition motorsport has to offer.
So, interesting. So, double softs is the suggested. I don't like to meddle too much with the strategy. So, I think, again, you can almost not break the game, but you can certainly give yourself an unfair advantage. But I think so having 2 softs would be important. I need to keep that in mind. I've tried, you know, on past games I did sit down and do all the fucking number crunching for this and come up with a strategy, and it never panned out. Let's manage the session because I don't trust them not to scrub all the wrong tyres and leave us with a very poor race offering. Sonoda tops it. Interesting. Just picked Verstappen. 31. We always do the most laps because we're actually trying to set our car up effectively. Yeah, we're not worried about... Oh, God, Fernando. Yuck. That's a bit damning. I mean, I know that the laps weren't the same in the fuel loads, but... Poor old Stroll. The poor lad. Oh, dear. Oh, dearie me. Whoop. So that's our practice results after P3. Track acclimatisation at 91, car parts knowledge at 79, a satisfaction setup for Charlie of 100%, 99% for Joe, 79 for his car parts, and the track at 89%. That's a pretty good free practice sessions for us. All three managed very well. Got some good data, got some good driver prep, both sitting at 93%. So more than happy with that before we head into qualifying. Hopefully we can get one or both of these cars into Q3. So here we are, Bahrain Grand Prix 2024, round 1. We are here for qualifying. Anyway, qualifying is here. We don't need to worry about our best practice time. Cut-off position is obviously 16th. We're going to set them up at 1 flying lap. We've got decent confidence coming into this. Charlie Boy just tipping into the highs. Zhou Guanyu on the medium. In terms of compounds, let's have a look. So that will be saved until Q3. We've got 3 sessions to get through, and we want to save 2 for the race. It's going to be tough, actually, isn't it? I want to save 2 new for the race if I can help it. In an ideal world, these mediums and these hards would have been unlocked, and I could have just used one of them and not taken it to the race, but that's not how it works. If we get into Q3, we'll get an extra set. But really, we want to get through Q1, Q2 on 1 set. And then save a set here. These 2 sets for the race. And then use this one for Q3. Probably slightly different with Zhou Guanyu. I'm not expecting him to get out of Q1 necessarily. So he will be fine. It'll leave him 3 sets when he'll only need 2. So we just have to play it by ear. Yeah, we'll try and maximise 1 set of tyres. And then obviously if we're in a bit of a pickle with Charlie, I'll have to make the call. And we'll have to change his strategy for the race. But yeah, hopefully we get this right. And let's head into qualifying and see how we get on. It's the traffic that will really cost you in this game. Really cost you. That's a nice little gap, isn't it? To feed him into. I like to bank a lap if I can. Magnussen's... Yeah, this is what I didn't want. Don't want all this took coming out right in your fucking grill. Oh, God, look, there's loads of them. Fuck's sake. Oh, fucking hell! Oh, I think they just got out of our way. That was tight. That was so tight. Oh, for God's sake, what's going on here? What are they doing? Fucking Prats was squabbling. Goodness sake. What the fuck was that? That's fucked our middle sector, I'm pretty sure of it. Five temps. Fucking hell. The fact that Zhou is quicker than Leclerc shows that his lap was pretty much fucking ruined there. Fucking pathetic from those worms that got in my way. I'll send Charlie out now. We're at the front of this last queue, I think, at least. Oh, there's going to be a lot of shit, isn't there? I think I'll fuck this badly.
Here. Track is all clear. Good to go.
Might just meet him on the straight, which won't be the end of the world. Down here, need him out the way. Stop weaving around, mate. Oh, fuck. That's fucked us again. Oh my God, what a disaster. The fucking traffic. Should have perhaps waited longer. Oh God, it's only a slight improvement. What an absolute disaster. We're out. We're going to go out of this. Let's see if Zhou can do anything. He's on fresh tyres. He might be the only hope here. Hopefully he can go slow enough to get in the way of Norris. That's the only thing I'm hoping for here. I mean, Perez... Norris is the threat. Perez is a threat. Hamilton's a threat. They're all a threat because our laps were both ruined by those sacks of shit in the way. What a fucking disaster that is. We're out. That's it. Leclerc has been knocked out. Just now, how low is he going to go? 19. Oh my god, what an absolute fucking disaster! How are you supposed to predict that shit? Come on, Zhou. No? Didn't improve. 19th and 17th. We are in the fucking shit down here. Zhou Guanyu qualified above Leclerc. Ocon will join us. Perez, Hamilton and Norris. What a stinker that is for those individuals. 6 drivers embarrassed. Let's have a look at what Q3 ended up giving us. Tsunoda on pole with Max Verstappen 2nd, Liam Lawson 3rd, Alonso 4th, Gasly and Russell 5th and 6th, Piastri 7th, Sainz 8th, Magnussen, Drogovic 9th and 10th make up the top 10. And then we got Ricciardo, Hulkenberg, Iwasa, Stroll, Albon, Bottas. But that... traffic. I've got to somehow get to grips with that. Let's put these boys on different strategies, shall we? Got more than enough softs to fuck about with if we want to. Let's do medium first. Medium, soft, soft for Charlie. There we go, soft, medium, soft. And at least there's a safety car. We haven't got to go on the medium. We've got a bit of choice there. Fuel. Hard, other than a lap or two for both drivers. Driving options to start with. First lap or two, we want you to use all your tools, all your juices, everything you can. High aggression required. I think you can tell him to do that to start with, but this is the worst possible start to the season. But we'll see. Hoping that that offset just gives Zhou Guanyu a little bit of time to start with, but if not, he's going to have to move over, I think. Because Charlie's just the faster man, so if they do clash, that's what's going to have to happen there. If not, during the pit stops, I'm sure it'll all change. Right, that's it, the Bahrain Grand Prix. We've got 19th and 17th for Leclerc and Zhou, respectively. Let's see what we can do at the back of the grid. Maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe the raw pace of Leclerc will bring him up through the bloody field, but let's see.
Witnessing a new chapter in Formula One as 11 teams line up on the grid.
At the back of the pack in P19, that's definitely not where we expected to see them. What can they manage from here?
But just what will happen here, your guess is as good as mine. This is it. 22 cars on the grid. And it's lights out, and away we go.
Just show me what you've got.
Copy.
Oh. Charlie! Key moments in the race. You need to get past this slop. Let things settle down a little bit before we worry too much. Where are we? We're 18th, so it's not the end of the world. There's only a few of us on the medium, so that's got to be factored in that we will be on quicker tyres later on. So we'll be in fuel saving mode for the majority of the race. So we'll be light on that front, but what a disaster start. Tsunoda v Verstappen at the front though, that looks quite tasty. We have DRS and boost. Leave that on just to try and clear Stroll. That's what we need to start doing. Joe's doing better than I anticipated.
Okay, good.
It's going to be a hard race for these boys. We're going to salvage this. We're just after points, really. Any points from either of the drivers is what we're after. Strength on our tyres. In terms of tyre percentages, yeah, I mean, look, Science has absolutely rinsed his. He may have started on used, but that is... Whew, he's going to be in trouble. 139 flat, 139.4. I mean, we're up there. In terms of just outright pace. So Joe is making... I mean, was planning to get rid of this guy. And he's put on a performance like this in the early phase of the race. I mean, that is... If ever there was a driver who thought he was under threat, you got to think Zhou Guanyu may have had an inkling there. I don't think this is the best place to overtake, if I'm honest, because you'll just get done on the main straight, but let's try and deploy our way out of it.
Overtake is available. Good job, good job. We are P7.
Fucking murdered our battery, but we just need some breathing room. We have to leave it on for this straight and the next, and who knows, we might be in range of Lawson. Yeah, not quite. I haven't quite broke the toe, did we? Get through these two corners, and then I think we'll be not far off, if I'm honest. Norris just banged in the fastest lap. Leclerc has got past Russell. Just see if these gaps come down naturally, or if they don't. We've fucked the battery a little bit. .4, 1.3, 1.9. You know, so I'm alright not having Joe right up there. I mean, he's got a good tyre offset, mind you, so perhaps he should be doing better. Charlie's stuck in this train. Oh god, look at this awful train. Let's top up here.
So that's currently P40.
So we're both on recharge. Russell's not going to be a threat from behind us. We are stuck in some hellhole of a train. Had I been on soft tyres, you maybe would pit him out of that, but it doesn't make any sense to do so. Maybe Charlie will battle his way through this mess bit by bit. But everyone's got DRS. Go on, Charlie.
Just give us some feedback on the tyres.
Good lad.
Good.
Charlie boy just steaming through. Ricardo, look what he's done with his tyres. He's done a mega job. No wonder he's... Verstappen pits. He's the first man in. Cool. I think Danny Ricciardo is going to go in the pit soon. Verstappen pits into all that crap. Joe is going to get in the way of Charlie, but he's running a pretty decent race. Maybe just an opportunity to top that up. Just keep an eye on the gap behind. Gasly pits. We might be close to Joe's pit window anyway, so It might not be the disaster. Oh, he's gone in. Yeah, I might just get him out of the way on this next lap. It's possibly a bit early, but time to get out of the way, Joe.
Third positions. Okay.
So here, let him go.
No charge. Copy.
Give Charlie a little bit of a deploy so he doesn't get
Overtake available.
caught out there. Oh, don't even need to do that. Right, that was the hardest bit, I think, of the race for me personally. Oh, yellow flag. What's this?
Look out for debris.
Let's watch the replay.
Here we are then at the 11th corner. With not much room to move. The cars coming together right there. I wouldn't be surprised if there were a few words exchanged when they get back to the paddock.
Yellow flag here. We could pit him. It's in our window. It's early, but if a safety car comes out, they're all back, aren't they? Yeah, they're not crashed. Okay, we won't do that. I was ready to pull the trigger there.
Flag now.
Another crash. What's happened here? Oh, he's come out and smashed the back of him. They've all got going again. Oh dear, what a disaster.
To the garage. That was a tough moment to watch.
That is a stinker for them, isn't it? Time penalty for a what? 10-second time penalty, wow. I think we're going to pit Joe after this lap, so our gap's pretty good, 4 seconds, so yeah, go for it, boy.
Try to build a gap ahead. Copy.
And get those mediums out the way, and then we can got a bit of
Box this lap.
strategy if something goes wrong.
Charge the pack.
Little Billy.
There's Joe in the pits, see where he comes out. This has got to be a recovery session, isn't it?
We'll be racing people on pit exit here. So currently we're at P13. Ahead is Albon. That's 1.5 seconds to Albon. Far behind will be Russell. Gap is 3.6.
Yeah, I think this is where Joe's going to come unstuck, unfortunately. So Verstappen's doing 138.1. Sonoda 142, but he's in a load of toot. Alonso's in the pit. We've still got plenty of juice in our tyres. Let's go neutral now, and then we'll go full attack. See if we can get much quicker. Gonna come out right in that shit, aren't we? It's not too terrible. Where they all lap him? 137. Yeah, I mean, one more lap, see what happens, and then we got close enough. Let's make the switch.
Box. Go for the box.
Right, see where Leclerc comes out. Won't be in front of Verstappen, that's for sure. What can we do from here?
Try to be back.
can we do? Yeah, Joe's just starting to get found out a little bit, isn't he? If we can stay in the points, I'll be happy. Yeah, it's not ideal, is it? Right on the fucking Russell's right on our arse.
That's currently P9. Albon ahead of.
It's not too bad. We'll be on fresher and for some quicker tyres, so not too distraught about that. Might have to just bin off any sort of effort for Zhao. I mean, he's just scrambling around down there, isn't he? Yeah, I'm gonna get done here by Russell, which is annoying. But we can get him back, I'm pretty sure. Nothing really we can do about this particular overtake that's about to happen. I wouldn't even defend it too hard, just try and get him back on the next one. Tyres are up to temp. No way you're going to hold him off for 2 in a row. That's alright. Yeah. I'll get you on the inside, and then we won't have any DRS down this back straight, and then you'll be sat behind him and all that shit. It's not very high IQ there from Charlie. Now he's going to get the inside and... Oh, well. I'll tell you what, he's done well. He's done very well. Yes, got him at 9/10, so it'd be hard for him to even pass, even with DRS. Did he even get it? No. No, he didn't. If we just get Charlie to attack through here.
Okay, so let's just get head down now.
Try and build a bit of... I'm going to go a bit too gung-ho on these tyres, because they do melt very quickly. Just want him... Yeah, that didn't work out, did it? That's poor.
And we're keen to pick up the management.
Oh, 1.1. There we go. That's what we wanted. Should get Alonso. Can we get him back down the back straight here? Yes. Let's have a little look, see at this one. No, I'm not going to make it this time. So I think I'm going to get him on this bit, which is not ideal because you don't get very long to actually make use of it, but it might just be good to get him out of the way. If we pass him, which I think we will. Yeah. Set him on deploy.
Overtake available. Copy.
Set him on deploy and get him as far away from Alonso as possible. Oh, Albon, sorry. Not Alonso, is it? Yeah, it's probably not going to be enough, but might be enough to hold him off. What you don't want to do is use it and then get fucking absolutely pelted. So down here he should be fine. It's the next one. Yeah, lovely.
He has DRS.
Lovely jubbly. He's got DRS, but I don't think he's going to be close enough down either of these. Unless Charlie has a stinker, which is possible. He's done a pretty good job defensively. Well, he got within 4 actually, Albon. You go for this? No. Good lad. Just set him on top up and yeah.
Is the car behind you? Both charges good.
Copy.
Losing a lot of spaces, but there's not much I can do about that, I'm afraid. Not much I can do about that at all. And I think you're out of DRS of Albon. Let's check that. Yeah, so turn that battle assist off. Lovely jubbly. So we can move our way up the ranks slowly but surely here with Leclerc, it looks like. Now the pack's a bit more spaced out, it does just give us more room to do something interesting. Podium's on here for Leclerc, let's be honest. In terms of a recovery drive, it's been fantastic, but just makes you wonder what could have been. What could have been if we were starting at the front somewhere. Go on, stuff it up the inside. Charlie, stop it. And we should get DRS. It should protect us from... Yeah, excellent. Well, so that should protect us. He might make a late dive here. He's gone for it, not made it. Excellent. Oh, Lawson's really struggling. That's why he's in a world of hurt here.
Yeah, he did get DRS.
But we'll make short work of that. Goodbye. And then he can sit behind... Go on, Lawson, that's it. Get in, Ricardo. That's perfect for us. That is perfect. Because he should hold up
Good job.
Ricardo now, at least for a bit.
P3. Verstappen just ahead of yourself.
There we go.
5.2.
You focus on yourself now, son. Lawson's run those tyres into the fucking ground, isn't he? Oh, Verstappen's in the pits, so that's interesting because that releases us to a certain extent. But really, I want to watch his lap times and see what sort of times he can do when he's out. Yeah, look, they come out into a load of old shit, a lot of them. Yes, that's it. Christ, all the way back there, back where Joe is. That is interesting, isn't it? Yellow flag, yellow flag. What's that? Is it pit time?
There's a lot of debris.
Is it pit time? Who's involved? Perez. Oh. What a disaster they're having today, the Mercs. Yeah, we're just going to miss the pit window if that's the case. But we have used both compounds. We could go to the mediums on the end, but it's not a safety car, so we don't need to worry about that. Snowder in the pit, so we'll lead again, but as for how long, we don't know. Verstappen last lap was a 1:36.1, so he's about, yeah, 8/10 faster than us. Even Piastri's faster than us now, which is a bit of a concern with no traffic. What's that all about? Yeah, they're a bit of a threat actually, Gasly and Piastri, because they're going to have the offset on me. Yeah, doing 1:37s now. Although look, they've dropped off a little bit. Sonoda's banged in a... What's he banged in? 1:35.
Just give us tyre feedback.
Let's see what lap time we can bang in going full whack.
Copy.
One 1:36.5. Okay. It's not fast as them, but it's shaved a little bit off, isn't it? So we just got to make sure we don't get caught out by Bottas. He's lapping well slower, so that's not a concern. That's the cut-off point. I don't mind coming out behind Verstappen, Tsunoda, Alonso. That's expected. But Bottas and that gaggle there, I want to avoid at 26 seconds. Pit lane 23. Just have to monitor that a little bit. And Ricciardo, obviously, if he gets free of Bottas, he's going to be a problem for us. Oh, 26. Oh, there we go. That's the threat, isn't it? So that's maybe now time to act. Let's get him in. Yeah, that's going to be tight, actually, isn't it? Cool, he's come from nowhere. I didn't monitor that very well. It's going to be very tight. Oh, well. Right down the fucking end of the pit lane, haven't we? .9. Perfect. Perfect. Executed to perfection, I think. Now we're going to have to get these tyres up to speed. But we should be able to hold him off. What we got? We got a clean 2.5 seconds, so that's it now. We're done unless something goes completely awry in the race. Gonna ignore that for a minute. Get them down to the.
Gasly car ahead. Gap ahead, 7.3.
Gasly's gonna have to pit, so we're not too worried about him.
Gap 2.1 behind.
Can Verstappen catch Tsunoda? Doesn't look like it. Wow, what a turn up for the books that is. Bottas just put the fastest lap in. Gasly, 1:32. That is what you can do if you need to. We can let off the fuel saving, so he can come off lift and coast. So a good 7 laps on that. There wasn't any stoppages. That's worth keeping that in mind. We've got a big enough gap with. Did we get DRS as well? Don't know if we did. Yes, we did. Huge. Push on that. Let's go after Verstappen. 3 laps to go. Can we get him? The real question will be is can we can clear him on a DRS zone, but can we get rid of him? Got a little bit of delta on him in terms of tyre wear, but it's like, can we get far enough in front so that he can't get DRS back? I don't want him to be overly aggressive here, but we can deploy. We can use the battery. Let's use that fuel as well. Oh, yeah. This is. It's all right. That's what I mean. It's just you've got to get it done somewhere, and it's really you want to get it done down that second bit. Don't you dive bomb him here, whatever you do. He's fucked that. Oh, he has got DRS. He hasn't fucked it.
When you can, feedback on your tyres.
Could we get a second here?
To start reducing that management.
Can we break the toe? That's the question now. I'm going to have to just.
We need to keep the lift and coast up a bit more now.
Yeah, because we've gone a bit harder, haven't we? Got to be careful of that fuel. We're going to be on the final lap here, so I'm just going to bomb it down there. We might have done this, you know. We may well have done Verstappen on the penultimate lap to get second. Yeah, we've got Verstappen covered off here. Oh, but Yuki Tsunoda's going to come through and win this. What a turn up for the books that is for Red Bull. They couldn't get Verstappen, but they dipped into their junior program and they have plucked out a race winner. And it looks like Liam Lawson's going to score points as well. What a day for Red Bull this is going to be. Verstappen beaten, not only by Tsunoda, but also by Leclerc. Well, what a performance that is.
Checkered flag is out. So that's P2. Good job. Ah, so happy. Nice job, man. Hold on.
I'm happy with that. See how Zhou comes in. I don't think he can make any places up. No, he's 10, but he's got past Hulkenberg. Piastri's not going to get past him.
Just give it everything you got.
Copy.
Go on. Go on, son. 14th, I mean. We'll take what we can get. Kick Sauber both scoring. That's a bit annoying.
That is the checkered.
Both McLarens didn't score. Williams only got a point. Sainz with an absolute howler. Alpine in general, a diabolical race for them.
Driver certainly proved his worth with a terrific drive today.
It's wonderful to see them take their first podium of the year. They had to earn it, that's for certain.
Look at that. Charlie boy, second on the podium, first race.
Finally get the chance to cool off.
The absolute minnows. If only we'd qualified better, that will always be hanging over us here, but this first season we cannot get greedy.
Well, Karun,
A podium on debut.
team garage at the end of that.
Come on. And what a drive that is from Charles Leclerc. It's up 17 places to finish second. That is excellent. 18 very valuable points to this team. Verstappen, be disappointed with that. Ricciardo up 7 places, so he put in a great drive. He's only on a year contract. Hamilton up 16 places to finish 5th. That's incredible. Perez up 11, so he's proved his worth there. He had a couple of incidents, sorry. Stroll, well, we all wrote Stroll off, but he's bagged a point for Williams, so there you go. And our other driver, Zhou Guanyu, finishing 14th. Really thought he was going to do better. He was steaming up through the pack, but maybe that pace wasn't for real. Carlos Sainz with an absolute nightmare of a day. Down 14 places, finished 2 laps behind. And wow, Alpine there. A awful entry for them as Alpine finished 18th and 22nd respectively. Drivers' Championship, obviously Tsunoda top with Charlie Boy second, and the top 10 round that out, and obviously the finishing places do the rest. Constructors, we're third, so that's good. We'll take that. Ferrari and Red Bull obviously have pretty good teams in there. We've got a podium under our belts, which is great. 18 very valuable points. Aston Martin, Kick Sauber, they've got double point scorers, but they're not quite enough. We'll take that. We've got to finish, 9th and above, so avoid those teams. Charlie's going to be in and around the points, if not podiums, and maybe sniffing around the odd wins. That's seemingly good, but you know, a lot can change. Well, that wraps up the first edition of this series. MSG struck their way onto the F1 world with a podium, 2nd place for Charles Leclerc, bagging them 18 points on their debut race. What a performance that was, and this season's going to be very interesting, that's for sure. Anyway, nothing more for me to say other than thanks for your time, and ta-da.